Yeah, hello. It's Friday again. Hey, how was it? I hope everybody is doing fine. Last weekend was really not that bad. Now, how was yours? Yeah, I hope you had a nice one too. Anyway, let's welcome those people who have joined. It looks as if we've got three more subscribers that have come into the family. So really, the family is growing. Now, today I would like us to have a look the summary because the topic we chose was Ghana, the prophecy, the closing of the Fourth Republic. So before we close the Fourth Republic, we need to have a look at what really happened in the Fourth Republic so that we can have a clear understanding of the Fourth Republic. So whilst we're going to have a look about it, let's discuss our brain back to the area that you see what really happened in the first, second, and third republic, so that we have a clear view of what we are going on the first. Just give me a quiet moment, and I'll just be right there with you. So, if you have a look, we'll see that the First Republic, that was Kwame Nkrumah and the CPP, spent 2004 days in. Now, the Second Republic, which was Edward Akufo-Addo, that means the current president's father, they also spent 500 days in office. Then we had a Third Republic, which was President Hila Liman. He also spent 829 days in office. Then we have the Fourth Republic, that is from J.J. Rawlings up to Nana Akufo-Addo's time. So if we should put it all together, that means to 2024, that means that will be 10,394 days in office. So if we look at this Fourth Republic, we will see that this, as the prophecy says, that the Fourth Republic will be stronger, the Fourth Kingdom will be stronger than the second and third, and it will even be stronger than the first one. If we compare it to this year, we see that the Fourth Republic is stronger than the second and third, and it's also even stronger than the First Republic. Because if we compare the figures, 22,000 and 10,000, a huge difference. Now, if you look at inferior ones, they are less than 1,000. That means the Second Republic was 500 and the Third Republic was 829, less than 1,000, which makes them to be inferior kingdom. That is an inferior republic. So the strong kingdom or the strong republic was the First Republic and the Fourth Republic. Now we need to close the Fourth Republic. If we are going to close the Fourth Republic, what are some of the things that we need to look at? These are things that we are going to about it today. Now, when we first look at it, it's like what brought us to the IMF and why did we enter into multi-party democracy system? Second thing will be the effect and the impact we entering into the IMF or multi-party democracy. And the third part will be the cry of the people. So now let's begin with what brought us down into multi-party. Here we have to go back a little bit of history. I hope you don't mind. Sometimes you get what you need from that point in order for you to be able to see how the future will look like. So let's look at the past. Okay. So we'll see that Jerry Rawlings and the AFRC, they gave power to the Third Republic. But then the same Jerry Rawlings and the AFRC, they overthrew the Third Republic, which they put in place, sorry. So when they overthrew the Republic, Rawlings had an idea. His idea was to form a union government. This union government was supposed to lay a foundation which, under normal circumstances, should have been laid by Kwame Nkrumah and during the first administration. But unfortunately, so on that mission. Rawlings wanted to put that idea into reality. But now, the main person that suggested that idea, which is the union government, the union governors, was Ignatius Achampon. He wanted to institute that idea. But unfortunately, our intellectuals not give much attention to that idea. So it became just an idea which came into practice for a very short time and it went down back into the shelves. So Rawlings went down to the shelves and took this idea, wanted to put it into reality. So what he did was he took the bright guys and intelligent guys in the military, the Navy, the Air Force, the army put all of them together and went down further down to the universities. That's Legon, Cape Coast, and Tech. Got down all the best guys, the bright students in these universities, then formed the PNDC administration. So during this PNDC administration, there were many things that went on. We thought the foundation we've got was going to take us out. Little did we know that we were going to face some problems along the line. The problem was 1982, we had no rain. The coup was this 1st December 1981. So 82, when we entered, we were in the PNDC era. And the PNDC, 82, there was no rain. So what we were getting down to, October, November, that is getting to the closing of the year. We were expecting some rains to come before the Harmattan would show its face. The rain never came. So Harmattan showed its face. And we had this Harmattan, and it was very severe that even Nkuto or Sherbata became our friends. Wherever you are going, you make sure that you have a little bit of Sherbata in your bag or in your pocket so that you can cream your lips and you can clean your hand. Else they get dry and they get broken. And when they get broken, blasts are coming. You wouldn't like to have a feeling. So let's forget about that one. So December, the Harmattan was severe. January, February, the rain was still not coming. So 83, the sun rays was too high to stand them. The dried leaves, which the Harmattan has created, got into fire. So most of our villages were all set up in fires. Our food crops were all burnt. So when the food crops are burnt, what do we have to eat? There is nothing else to eat. So what happened was, if you should have 1 cup of rice, you are a millionaire. Because people had money that they wanted to buy food, but they couldn't find the food to buy. Getting 1 cup of rice at that time, if we should bring the equivalent money to this time, that would be 50 Ghana cedis per 1 cup of rice. Imagine. But you couldn't even find it. If you can find it, that is fine. You can't even find it. So what goes on? Okay. So we go down to that situation. Not too long. Then Nigeria brought the packed Ghanaians, 6 ships full load with Ghanaians, packed them up from Agege and shipped them all the way down to Akradi. Then they distributed them. So we are from frying pan to fire. Here's the case: we have drought, we don't have food. We're thinking about what we can eat. Then comes in this one too. What are we going to do? That was the question. It came down to the point where we even have to go and queue for kenke, which we will bring it back home to come and boil in order to be able to get food. We came down to the point where Erufua, the almighty queen with a smile, she came into the scene. You see a family preparing a whole soup with maybe 2 or 3 Erufua in it, and that's what they are doing. We were in a situation where we needed to be saved. But where comes from the savior? So the PNDC administration will have to apply for the World Food Program. Now, the World Food Program is also not given free of charge. But they saw a situation as, okay, you get this food, go and feed your people. Then later on come, let us sit down and see what we can do. So the PNDC administration took this food program and they brought it down home. In that way, we had yellow corn, wheat, we had Tom Brown, started coming in. Then railways also had part of the food program where they had rice, oil, sugar, cocoa or something of that nature was also added to it. So at the end of the month, you collect your salary and you get that provisions in attached to it. So life becomes a little bit okay. Now, when that detention came down, Rawlings and his administration, he had to get down to the IMF to discuss what was on the board. So the IMF, they said, okay, the point is, we are not interested in financing any military governance. What our interest is, if you can hand over from the military governance to the civilian governance, then we can start. But if you want to hand over, then we want to see a constitution coming from the people. In the Constitution, what we want to see in it is the terms of the political parties. First term means 4 years. Second term means 8 years. It shouldn't go above that. You see, that was a clause, but they didn't understand what that clause means. Along the line, we will come to that clause. So Rawlings and his administration, they accepted it, they came back home, and then they formed some kind of a platform where the constitution could be written. Because the old constitution, which was Kwame Nkrumah's time down to the Second Republic, to the Third Republic, is no more in existence. The population has already increased, so there's no way they can do it. So they had to form another constitution. So this constitution, to form it, because we did not have a parliament, what Rawlings did was he formed an assembly, and in the assembly he invited people, the chairman from the recognized institutions, organizations, and associations, and put them into this particular assembly. Within 3 months' time, they came up with a constitution. Now, the constitution, under normal circumstances, should have been discussed in a parliament, but unfortunately, we didn't have a parliament, and there was no way we could form a parliament before we can discuss the constitution. So we went to a referendum. At the referendum, we vote for yes, which means we, the citizens of Ghana, have accepted the constitution to be our law. So every law that will be developed will have to come from the constitution. It was accepted, so it was sent down to the World Bank. The World Bank saw it. It's okay. Now you have a constitution. What is your problem? It's okay. What we want is we want assistance for us to be able to build an economic base. So if it's then the World Bank says if it's economic based, it means that we have to come in, because whatever money that we give it to you, we need to know what the money is going to do. We can't just give you money and sit down somewhere there and you work with it, and at the end of the day you come back and tell a story. So whatever you are going to do with money, we have to get involved in it. They said okay. So the okay means our economic freedom has been given, just like Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. So we sold the birthright of Ghana back to the colonial masters again. Now, if they have the economic freedom, then automatically they will also have the political freedom. Remember, they said that in the constitution, you have to have 1 term and 2 terms. 1 term means 4 years and 2 terms meaning 8 years, making the 2 terms. So after doing 2 terms, you can't go for the 3rd one. No way. If you are a flag bearer, you can stand for 2 times. You can stand for the 3 times, which is a fact. And there is no way a party will also win 3 times because they are playing the game. And the reason why the party will not win 3 times is if a party wins 3 times, there is a possibility that the party might derail from what they want to achieve. So they make it that you go 2 times and that will be the end of that party. And next party will then have to come, whether you like it or not. So this process has been going on, and without people being aware. Now let's see the impact, then the effect that brought when we went down to the system. Now the first thing they did was, in Takoradi, for instance, we have over 30 companies which were providing employment for people, for families. Now these companies were scrapped and sold. I can name some of the companies. We had Black Star Line that had a lot of ships, about 10 ships. I might not be able to mention all of them. We had Kingsway, we had UTC, we had GB Olivant, we had UTC, we had PTC, we had PCC, we had Railways was not the way it is at the moment, because at that time they had more employees, but at the moment they're already down. We had all these companies, and they were all giving employment. We were all giving money into the community. But when we enter into the IMF program, we said, no, these places are all liabilities. So the best thing you can do is to cut them out. So what we have to do is to cut this one out. So they sold all these companies. And what happened to us? All those people who were being employed in these places then became unemployed because they did not create any other avenue that when they come out of that place, they can go to that side there in order to fill the vacuum. Nothing was created, so they left them abandoned. Friday 1984, the population was about 61,000. According to the statistics, 2020, the population now is about 450,000. So compare 61,000 to 450,000. What is the difference? Why wouldn't the system back in Takoradi be too crazy? Because if we look at the percentage that are working, we might say out of the 100%, let's say 30% of them belong to the youth. That is the age of 1 to 16. Then from the age of 65 upwards, they form the 30%. If you take the 30 out of 100, we have 70. Out of the 70, only 30% are working. 40% are unemployed. So 30% taking care of 70%. How do you expect the system to be? So the cry of the people at the moment, I will mention some of it. I took my time to write some of it, and I'll read them out. A friend was writing, fix the country. The second person wrote, the system is kaput. Kaput means it is something which is destroyed and you can't do anything about it. Hey, Uncle John, I know you are listening. And that was yours. The other person also say, fix the nation, retire. Retire. We have to say. The other person that said something that makes find it very interesting. He said, whether for yourself or fix the nation, still the alternative is empty, it's airy. These are the cry of the people. How can the nation be fixed? We can't fix the nation in the Fourth Republic. NDC cannot do it. MPP cannot do it. No one can do it. It is only you and I who will do it. Maybe the Fifth Republic have got the keys to the challenges that we are facing. Brothers and sisters, I don't want to take much of your time. Have a nice one, and I'll see you next weekend with the last version of it, which is the Fifth Republic. Hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you enjoyed it, let the brothers get to know the future is in our hands. We are creating it. Whatever the case might be, I hope that will be with us. You have a nice one, and let's just start.